Hello and welcome to my craft room. I can't talk to you face to face today because my blooming camera is broken. Hopefully Tom will get me sorted out soon, but at least for the time being he's sorted my desk camera, so at least I can record a video. So I'm going to be doing something a bit different today that I've not tried. I have tried it before many years ago, kind of. Rag rugging. I love rag rugs. I love the look of them, and I love the way that they use up old clothing that isn't good enough to give to the charity shop. Unwanted textiles of various kinds you can turn into these amazing, gorgeous, useful things to have around the home. So just recently, Fabulous Jacks, you'll know her as Fabulous Jacks in your Discord community, Jackie Parry, she sent me this book with a view to doing it as a giveaway. She said it's for a giveaway for our next live stream. Now that next live stream is this Saturday coming, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Where we will be live streaming my son Tom and I from here in my craft room. We always have a lot of fun. Last time it was all about twiddle muffs and we didn't stop laughing the whole way through. Anyway. Hopefully we'll have the camera sorted by then and we'll be able to do that. So we're going to be giving away this amazing book. Thank you to the lovely Jackie for that. And I'm happy to post it anywhere in the world. This book gives you, it gives you all the information you need. I always want to flick from the back. It gives you all the information that you need to get started, all the nuts and bolts and the nitty gritty, really useful information, lots of tips and techniques. About the whole process, and then there are all of these different inspiring projects for you to have a go at. Now Jackie's been really getting into this, and I bet she's going to do well. I've already seen some beautiful things that she's done. I'm going to give you a little glimpse of some of the photos she shared with me in Discord in a minute. But yeah, you can see the kind of thing, all sorts of amazing ideas in there. When Jackie was saying about this and said about sending this book to donate as a prize, it reminded me that I'd got this kit sat here. I think this was my mum's old rug hook. And we used to do, I can remember as a kid doing the kind of ready cut? Yeah, ready cut. You'd get those little bundles of wool rugs. And I can remember loving it as a kid. I think maybe this needs a bit of oil, this one. I'm not sure if this is going to be chunky enough to do rag rugs with or if it's just for wool. But so I've got that as well. I love the feel of that in your hand. But this is the kit that I had, and I thought it was by because this Elspeth Jackson is the lady who started Ragged Life. Am I making that up? Can't see anything about it now. I'm fairly certain she is, but I might be completely making that up. Anyway, I thought it was a Ragged Life kit that I had, but it's not. It's actually a different make, but same kind of thing. So this is the one I've got. Makings, home of UK rag rug making. There's their thing. And it gives you some very simple instructions. I didn't notice at the time, Launceston in Cornwall. I used to live very near to there when I was a kid. Anyway, all that was in the kit was this huge piece of Hessian or burlap. If you're in America, you call it burlap. Big enough to make a good sized rug with. My plan is to make a rug big enough to go in our little hallway, our little kind of lobby. It's not really a hallway, it's more of a little porch lobby thing. Because the one we've got there is really threadbare now. And then a gauge for cutting the strips with. And this little gadget. Now, what is it called? I think I just call it a rag rugger. And the idea is that you push it through the burlap, open it up, grab the piece of rag and pull it through. I've messed that up now, look. Don't matter, it'll be fine. So I've had this kit sat here for blooming ages. I don't know how long, years probably, and I've done nothing with it. So when Jackie said she'd been getting into making rugs, and then she said about sending this book as a giveaway prize, I thought, right, time to get that little kit out and have a go, because I know I'd got some t-shirts that really were beyond given to the charity shop. I don't think anybody would thank me for them. And I didn't want them to just chuck them into landfill kind of thing. So I'm going to put this out of the way now, so I don't want to damage it. Just have a look at what I've got myself all prepared. I've got all my strips ready, but I've just saved some last little bits just to show you how the whole cutting of strips process works. And this is the kind of t-shirt that, I couldn't give it to the charity shop. It's one of the shirts that my husband uses when he does his volunteer work as a groundsman at the local park, Cat and Park. So for a start, we can't give this to a charity shop because it's the Cat and Park shirt, but also you can see like where he's used probably used different cleaning stuff and things, you know. It's got spattered with things, you know. It's like it's stained and things, and you know, you wouldn't want to give it to a charity shop, but like you can't just throw it away either. That kind of thing, this is perfect for doing that kind of thing. So the first thing I did was kind of cut the seams off, so I ended up with nice straight pieces, then cut them into strips, the longest strips I could get, really. I didn't throw away the seam bits. I've kept the seam bits because I think they add nice interesting texture, and I'll use these as well. But I've just cut the seam bits a little bit narrower than the rest to allow for the extra thickness of that seam. So none of it has to be wasted. Basically, there's two different ways of doing it. There's the kind of the raggy kind, where you've got all of these raggedy ends, which is what I want. But you can also do the loop kind. I think that's done with the... So that's a raggy finish. Okay. And these letters here are done with the loop kind of method, where you use one long strip and just pull up loops of it. I'm going to go for the raggedy finish because that's what I like. But I do think there's lots of scope. You could get quite arty with this. You could definitely combine loops and raggedy bits, and you could use all different kinds of fibres in there. You could do a bit of weaving in and out as well. I just think you could go absolutely crazy, but I think there are all sorts of different possibilities with this. So yeah, so I cut the seams off, but use the seams, cut those seam bits a bit narrower, cut long strips, and then when you've got the long strips, this is where the gauge comes in. So I'm going to need my little pair of scissors. And you can take several thicknesses actually all at the same time, depending on the thickness of your original fabric. So I've got 3 thicknesses here because this is quite a thick shirt, this one. And you just hold them all together like that, wind them around this handy gadget. You don't have to be too finicky about it. I mean, you can see that's going on quite messy, but it's fine. And then you just cut with your scissors up along the little groove in the tool, and hey presto, you've got all of those little strips cut at the same time. Fantastic, what a handy gadget. So I have done that many times, and I have cut up lots of shirts, and being me, I did it obsessively for like 2 evenings and did loads and loads, and then divided them all into these little bags with all the different colours in. Which is probably a bit unnecessary, but you know, that's me. So I have got loads here. Unfortunately, most of the colours I've got are quite kind of dreary. There's a lot of like the old Cat and shirts there. The old Cat and Park shirts. Yeah, a lot of blacks, greys, blues and greens. But I think that's going to work really well to make a nice serviceable, durable rug to go just inside our front door. Not like a door mat, we've got a door mat, but this is just like the rug you then step onto, so it does get a lot of wear. So before I do anything else, I just want to show you a quick look at, I'll put these out of the way, I just want to show you a quick look at some of the amazing pieces that Jackie's been making. I've opened them up in a browser to be able to get a closer look. I think this is my favourite. I love this one. Unfortunately, I don't have anything like these kind of vibrant colours to use at the moment. But what I'm going to do is use what I've got, and then if I really enjoy myself, then I can have a look in charity shops for t-shirts that I can cut up and things, or put a call out to friends, you know. But I'm going to use what I've got for now and just see how I get on with it. So if we have a closer look at this one, now I think what Jackie's done, most of these look like they're looped. Can you see? You can see, especially in that sort of pale minty green in the middle. That looks looped. I'm wondering if that she's used all kinds of different fabrics and things here. I'm actually thinking that looped one in the middle might even be like felting wool because of the texture of it. It's a lovely texture. Just makes you want to run my fingers through it. Right, let's have a look at another one. I think this is just a screenshot from her phone, so you can't see so well, but I love this with the row of cats sitting there. And I love that what she's done is then added bits of felting and stitching in there to add more interest and texture and sort of little decorative elements. I just love that. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's have a look at another one. Another one with the cats. I do like the cats from behind idea. And here, yeah, she's added, I think that's stitching. Is it stitching or weaving there? I love the little kind of balls of texture around the outside here as well. I love the way and it's all framing. There's lots of different frames, one inside the other, all drawing your eye into those little cats in the middle. Just love that. Beautiful organic shapes, and she's just filled them with colour. I'm just going to see if I can make that go. Will it let me go bigger? It won't let me go. Yes, it will. It's all or nothing. Trying to get a close-up look at the different textures. I don't know if the photo's showing it too well, but I think, or if you'll be able to see it on the screen, but there seem to be lots of different textures of fabrics in there, and I think that's what makes it really interesting. And then there's this one. This is quite a, this looks like, I think she said is this a cushion cover? I love the colours in here. I think that first one I showed you and this one are my favourites. It's because of the colours and the sort of simple shapes, and I like the black outlines. Now I have got quite a lot of black to use, so yeah, loved. And again, different types of fabrics and things to give. I'm sure there's some felting wool in there, and it all helps to give that lovely tactile texture. Really nice. So I'm kind of ready to get started. As I say, this is something I've virtually not done at all, but I don't think it's rocket science. She says confidently. I'm not going to need these for a little while. First thing I've got to do is decide what size it's going to be, have a rough idea of a design, and I'll probably draw that on in a Sharpie or something. And I need to finish the edge in some way, and normally you turn the hems in before you start ragging. The neatest way to do this is to turn the hems in on top and work through both layers in the usual way. Allow a hem of around 2 inches. Then just keep putting in more pieces of rag until the back cloth is full. I think looking in the book, she suggests turning a hem under, oops, but that you don't have to work through both thicknesses because the strips will kind of fluff out and cover up the edge anyway. But I don't see how it's not going to be too much hassle either to just work through 2 thicknesses. So I'm just going to turn in, I mean they're saying 2 inches. I'm going to double check in the book and see what Elspeth says. Well, she literally tells you everything, how to cut the strips and yeah, all the things that can go wrong, common mistakes. I'm probably going to come back to that. Cool. You'll usually get 1 or 2 rows out of a medium-sized garment. It takes more fabric than you would think. I'll probably use everything that I've got there to make one rug then. You do not need to rag through the hem of the rug, as the shaggy pieces will disguise the edging. Yeah, and I guess you can see there, that is what's going to happen. So what she's suggesting is to actually stitch the hem and then not worry about rugging through it, rugging through it. So I think I'll do that because it's got to be less tricky if you're not trying to go through 2 thicknesses of Hessian. So I'm going to go with what Elspeth says, I think. It's going to be difficult for me because of the size of it. I can't show all of it on the setup that I've got here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this away and measure it, because I don't need my rug to be this big. I just need a small one to start with. I think I will get 2 out of the piece of Hessian that I've got here. It's quite a generous amount, but it's nice that they give you enough to make quite a sizable. What size is it? Hang on. So it's about 1 metre by 2 metres, which is pretty generous. It seems like a nice quality Hessian, because they do vary a lot, don't they? But of course in the old days they'd have used an old sack, you know, and whatever old fabrics they had on hand. So yeah, I'm going to go away and measure my rug and turn in a hem all the way around, and just do, Elspeth suggests, hand sewing or using a machine. I don't see that it's going to be, I don't think it's going to need to be like a double hem or anything. I'm just going to do a running stitch hem along there. I'll probably use this thread because it's quite sturdy and a biggish needle. So I'm going to go away, measure up my rug, turn my hem under and just do a kind of a running stitch with this. And then I think I'm not good, because I've got limited colours and things to pull from. I can't do anything, I can't really do a fancy design with what I've got. I think I'm just going to draw myself some random kind of wavy lines to follow and just keep changing the colour and kind of making it up a bit as I go along. I'm going to use what I've got. What I need to know at this stage is, am I going to enjoy the process of this enough that it's worth me then going out and sourcing one way or another, sourcing some more t-shirt fabric. The fluff from the Hessian is making me cough. Okay, I'm going to stop recording a minute and I will be back. Right, I've cut my rug to size. I pulled out to straighten up the sides. I pulled out a few threads just to make sure everything was all evened up and straight. So I ended up with these threads and they're pretty strong. So I'm going to use these for the actual stitching. So I've got a needle with quite a large eye and I'm just turning over about 1.5 centimetres, half an inch ish. I can't find anywhere that actually says how big the hem should be, so, and as you fold it over it holds the crease quite nicely, so this is pretty easy and I don't think it's going to need more than that back stitch to hold it, not back stitch, running stitch to hold it. You can't really see even what I'm doing there. So yeah, this is going to be exciting viewing for you. Just flicking through the book just now, I noticed a couple of other things I didn't notice on my first flick through. One of the suggestions is to use fabrics from pieces of clothing that have special memories for you, so you're kind of weaving your memories into a rug or other useful item, which I think is really nice. I love doing that. I love doing that with quilting. I love the idea of memory bears, anything like that where you can look at the piece that you've made and think, I remember that shirt, or you know, I remember the kids wearing that baby grow. Baby grows would be a lovely fabric to use for making rag rugs actually. A kind of slight stretchiness, I like the t-shirt yarn is a really nice one to use. I love the look of denim as well, so old jeans would be a great way to use, a great fabric to use for this. So I'm not doing this especially carefully. I think that's going to be fine. This Hessian seems to be quite a nice straight grain, but you know, if you were doing it on a bit of old sack or something, you might find you need to kind of pull it a little bit to straighten up the grain before you start. So if it's going to take a whole garment to do one kind of strip on a rug, I might even find I'll run out part way through. I've ended up with a big enough piece of Hessian, sort of this by more than a metre the other way, and I think that would be nice to make a little kind of draft excluder with. It's one of the projects featured in the book, and we do actually use draft excluders quite a bit because this is a drafty. There are a lot of drafty doors and windows in this house, so I use draft excluders at windows as well as doors. We sometimes get a cold easterly wind whistling under the doors. Right, let's finish that one off now. So a draft excluder is actually a really useful thing. And it's interesting the way Elspeth shows in the book how to put the pieces together, so she makes it cylindrical with circles on either end, and then you kind of carry on rugging over the joins. Another piece of this coming out now, look, so I'm going to pull that thread out and use that to stitch with. I think that'll be alright. Okay, so I'm going to carry on stitching around this. I don't think you need to sit and watch me stitch anymore. When I get to the corners, I'm not mitering or anything like that. I'm just literally folding it over like that. I just don't think it's going to show, so as long as it looks sort of neat from the underside, I think that's fine. Okay, I'll be back in a bite. I've done that hem all the way around. I've just had another look back at the book, and apparently I should double this over. And I don't really want to do that because I just think it's going to make that corner really, really bulky. So I'm wondering whether to do the alternative method of putting my first row of strips through both thicknesses of the Hessian. I'm going to try one like that to see how it feels. Yeah, so I'm going to try it like this, and if this is really hard work, then I'll do the double hem after all. So apparently you go in and bring the tool up 2 or 3 threads along, push it through far enough so that the opening is beyond the threads. It's nice that you squeeze it to open it up. And then what Elspeth suggests is put in the first few pieces, put them really close together to firm everything up. So she suggests for these first ones, go in the hole that you've already got a piece in, if that makes sense, just so they get all snugged up together, and then after that you can leave out sort of 1 to 3 holes between. It's not proving too difficult to go through the double thickness of Hessian, so I think I'm going to do that rather than another line of stitching. It looks quite loose like that, but I guess once you've got them all butted up next to each other really firmly, yeah, they just will all hold each other in place. Nice. So I'm going to keep going for a few more, going in the same hole that I've just come out of, just until it all feels nice and firm. So if I was going to use the hook, might be a bit of an unfair test of it in this bit. Let's try the hook out here. It's just in the middle somewhere. So you push this through the Hessian. As you push it through, it makes the little latch open up. You can then grab the fabric and put it back through, and as you pull it back through, you can see the little latch closes up again. And then you've got to keep hold of one end and just pull one of the ends through. I'm finding it's a bit awkward actually. I think this is a bit stiff and needs oiling or cleaning or something. So you just pull that one end up, then you go along 1 or 2 threads, push it through again, and pull the other end up. Or miss altogether. Yeah, I'm finding that a little bit awkward. Doable, but awkward. I could probably get used to it, and I should probably clean this up a bit and oil it. So I might do that and give it a bit of a try later on, because I remember really enjoying using these with wool with my mum. But then we would have been using that kind of rug canvas rather than this Hessian. So yeah, but yeah, that's how you would do it if you were doing it with a hook. But I'm going to carry on working along here. I think I'll do a couple more going into the same hole. Oops. I love it when you let go, it grips it really firmly so that you can pull it through. Oh look, I've broken a couple of the threads there. See that? Look, I've broken the thread. Oh, it's because I'm so near to the... Okay, having had that little experiment, I can see that I think I do need to do that double hem. So I'm going to pull these out. They should pull out quite easily at this stage. And I'm going to... Might as well do, if you want to do a job, if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing properly. I'm going to turn another hem. And then I won't try going through several thicknesses. I will just allow the little rags to cover the edge. Yeah, I won't turn again where I've got the selvage. Don't think I need to there, but I will on these, because what I'm finding is that after that little experiment there, because I've not double turned the hem, it's just sort of tending to break away, and we don't want that. So I'm going to turn again all of these, and I will be back in a mo. I think what I'm going to do is not go through the hem, and if I have to, I'll go back and either do a decorative blanket stitch around the edge. That could look quite nice, or something. Yeah. So I'm just going to start inside of the hem. So I'm going in and moving along just a couple of threads, squeezing the tool to open it up, grabbing hold of the end, letting go to close the tool, and pulling it through. Squeeze again to make it let go. Okay, so I'm going to do as Elspeth suggests in the book, and for these first few I'm going to go back in the hole that I've just come out of. After the first few, once it's all sort of tightened up and secure, she says you can go from between, you can skip between 1 and 2 threads between each piece. It depends on the thickness of the fabric, I guess. Because you can use all different thicknesses. You can even use kind of sheer fabrics and things, or you can use fleece or denim, or yeah, you could even use lace and ribbons, couldn't you? You could use all sorts. I think if I enjoy this process, I will definitely have another experiment. I'd like to try more kind of different textures, and I'd like to have more colours at my disposal. I'm going to start, because I've got lots of this green, I've got lots of black. I'm going to start with this. I'm going to do a whole row of this green and see how I feel. And I think I'm just going to do, for this first rug, I'm just going to do strips as they come. Just to get a feel for it, and then I'll get a bit more ambitious on the next one if I enjoy it. I'm hoping this will be something I'll just sit and do in front of the telly in the evenings. I think I'm going to try just doing a couple of threads each time, at least to start with. Back in the same hole, move along a couple of threads. There we go. I pulled that straight through. More practice needed. It's a good little tool, but there's a certain amount of user error going on at the moment. Okay, back in the same hole. I'll do a couple more going back in the same hole, and then I'll start leaving gaps. At the moment it feels like that's not going to cover that edge there, but once I've got more here pushing them out, it probably will. You can see that that's falling over there, covering the edge. I do quite like the idea of doing a decorative blanket stitch all around the edge in a bright colour or something, maybe, don't know. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, that feels fairly, they feel fairly sort of secure now. They're all snugged up nice and close, so they keep each other in place, as it were. You can see it's not going to matter too much if your ends of your strips are a little bit at an angle, or if the strips are actually a slightly different length, or if they're frayed. You know, I would quite like them to be more frayed in a way. If you're using cotton fabric and tearing them, of course it would get more frayed. So now I'm going to start just leaving a thread or two between. Let's just try leaving one thread in between to start with. Right, I'm going to try leaving a couple, because I can see when they're all snugged up together you're not seeing a gap in between, so I think I can leave a couple of threads. She says 1 to 3, and this is quite a thick fabric, so I'm going to leave 2 threads in between, and I'm going to move along, and I'm going to put my tool under 3 threads. Let's see how that works out. That's a good grip, this. And it's nice that you don't have to grip to pull. You just grip lightly to open, and then you just let go and it holds on really firmly. It's a good little tool. I really like it. I do like a nice, well-designed tool. Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty good with a 2 threads in between each one and moving the tool under 3 threads each time. So I'm skipping 2 threads, those 2. I'm going in here, I'm going under 3 threads and bringing my tool out there. That seems to be working pretty well. Didn't grab enough of the strip that time. Fabulous. And I can see that's going to grow fairly quickly, and I think I'll probably be okay to sit and do this during the live stream on Saturday. Brilliant. I think I'm going to finish this video here, and I will be back on Saturday for the live stream. Hopefully you can join us. So that's this Saturday coming. May the 4th be with you. And that never gets old. From 8 PM to 10 PM UK time. I shall be doing this rag rugging. I will also do a quick show and tell of my nearly finished twiddle muff. This is very tactile actually already. So please do feel free to, I feel really weird not talking to camera, please do feel free to bring along whatever projects you're working on. You can show us pictures of what you're doing in the Discord live stream follow along room. Or perhaps share some pictures in the Facebook group if you're not in Discord, or just bring along a cup of tea or a glass of something and a cat on your lap and just sit and join in the live chat. We always have a lot of fun, and it's always lovely to catch up with everybody. In practice I don't tend to get much actual crafting done. I tend to be more interested in seeing what everybody's chatting about. But yeah, hopefully you'll be able to join us, and if you would like the chance to win this lovely book, you'll be able to join via the live chat during the stream. Let's make a pretty thumbnail. It's all the stuff we've been using, isn't it? Oh, and this. We will do the draw for the book during the live stream and announce it there and then. Please do not ever think that I would contact you by email and ask you for bank details, or ask you to go to a website that asks you for bank details or anything like that. We would never do that. If I'm sending you a prize, I will be sending you a prize. I will never ask you for postage or for payment of any kind. We got scammed one time and I'm very wary of it. That's why I don't do the giveaways in quite the same way that I used to. But yeah, if you'd like to have a chance of winning this lovely book donated by Fabulous Jacks, join us on Saturday. We would love to see you there. Okay, I feel really weird not being able to say goodbye on camera. It just feels really strange. Hopefully I will see you on Saturday and the camera will be all fixed. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I will see you again really soon.